Hello, all you bladers. Today we're going to be discussing the full history of Free de la Hoya. We're going to be doing this with some other bladers as well eventually, but let's get started. So Free was introduced as sort of a chill, laid-back kind of guy. He was the first ranked blader in the world. He didn't really do as Chris told him to. He didn't really do as Trad told him to. Free does as Free goes. Free goes as Free does. He didn't really follow the team. And yet, Chris was fine with it because she knew that Free wouldn't lose a match, and that's what matters in BC Soul. Failure is obviously not an option. We saw his bay, drain Fafnir, and his ability to spin steel. He was unbeatable. He didn't even use his launcher. He used his hand to spin the bay. Free really helped out Volts and Rantaro and Silas and Kuza and other people while being a team captain, while also being and preferably a solo player. He left BC Soul because he knew that if BC Soul lost their strongest player, they would have to push themselves to the limit to get back up, and they did. That's exactly what they did. He was unbeatable for a time. Then Luinor and Louis Shirasagi's evolution came out. They burst Free. Free came back to BC Soul. He went through some really intense training in the finals of the tournament. He pretty much beat everyone, but at the points where he was facing Luinor and Volt and maybe facing Red Eye, he really pushed himself. He was really pushing his training. There was this scene where he was at the boulders and he was moving a boulder. He was walking with a giant 2-ton boulder strapped to his rope. He was just going all out. His Super Satan veins were showing. His muscles were flexing. He was just he went all out. He unleashed Nothing Break, which is a really cool new move that we see him do. He lost against Vault because he was pushing himself too hard, and he was originally going to keep going, but Chris told him, Free, stop. For me, she didn't want him to get hurt, so Free, being Free, caring about BC Soul and the owner, was courageous enough to step down. He probably would have beaten Volt and maybe even beaten Red Eye. He would have reclaimed his champion title as the first ranked blader in the world, but he gave that all up for Chris. And that says a lot about his character. And we see him again in Turbo, where his evolved Geist Fafnir is there. Now, Geist Fafnir is very evolved from Drain Fafnir. It has a free spin gimmick, it has a spring gimmick in the layer, it's much heavier. He seems not as invincible as God, but he's still one of the top ranked bladers in the world. And he was pretty much unbeatable then as well. Then we saw his match against Fi, where he said, Fi's joy in blading is destroying stuff, and I'm not gonna let him do that. I'm gonna win this match. And Free, he went all out. He showed his veins, he used Absorb Break, he used every single move he could, and even in the end, Fi cracked his bay. Free was devastated. He was just devastated at losing Fafnir. He eventually got over it. He was at peace with it. He brought the pieces of Fafnir in a bag. I assume he evolved it or repaired it. We don't really know the history. And then before GT ended, during the time of Dante and Delta versus Arthur and Gwen, Lane created the first Super King Bay, first Uranus. His flare was going out of control. Shu contacted Free to show Lane that it's not just about flare drawing, it's not just about strength, it's about having fun, and he hoped that Lane would lose against Free, but have fun, but Free was at a huge disadvantage. Kind of still getting over slightly the fact that his bay was broken. He had a turbo bay. Lane's flare was progressively growing as we speak. His coach was Shu. He was in his home stadium, which doesn't really matter because all stadiums are the same, but he had a Super King Bay. Lane just had the complete advantage, and based on the sound that we hear from Lane hitting Free's bay was broken again, and he evolved it into Mirage Fafnir and told Vault that he lost to a rookie blader in New York and he wasn't going to lose again. He created the strongest Fafnir, Mirage Fafnir. It was really cool, and I thought they were going to do Free good again like they did in God, but they really didn't. They kind of trashed him. We did get to see him use Absorb Break or Nothing Break one more time with Silas against Louis and Drum. That was really cool. He was sort of a mentor to Hikaru and Hyuga. In the episode, he wanted to test Hikaru and Hyuga to their limits. He wanted to see how far they would go, how far they've grown. It's nice to see how Free has matured. His character's history has a lot of growth, a lot of character development. Free is a really cool character. And overall, Fafnir is just a really cool bay. He was the world's first ranked blader, and as the seasons went on, Free got pushed lower and lower, and hopefully in Season 6 we get to see some redemption for that. But yeah, Free is a really cool character. He's shown tons of character development. He's just a very detrimental character. For these theory videos, I feel like I'll be doing a lot more of like what will happen in Season 6. I'll be doing some theory videos about Season 6. I will be doing some what if Shu or what if Louis or whatnot have not bladed. I will definitely be doing Shu Koronai full history next, and that's a lot to go over. Possibly even more than Free, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Free is a really cool character. He's shown a lot of character developments, and yeah, hopefully we get to see some redemption of that in Season 6. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get this video up to 7 likes for Free. With that being said, have fun, peace out, and don't forget to keep on blading.